Welcome to the December to Remember How to Win the Season workshop. I am Holly Joy Rigsby, and I am very pleased to have you join me here today because I have been teaching the 5-step productivity system for the past couple years. Most recently, published it and got it out on Facebook Live and sent it out to those of you who've been following me. And we had used this earlier this year and made it very clear that every time your life changes, you need to revisit that 5-step productivity system because it will absolutely impact the adjustments that you need to make about what's important in your life right now. And the holiday season is a change in your life. It is a big change in your life. And for many of you, maybe it's already started with the Thanksgiving season that just now happened. It's notorious for causing so much stress and overwhelm. It can spiral out of control so fast. It causes a lot of chaos and craziness. And many of us get caught up in the production of it all, and everything has to be perfect. And we end up missing out on so much. And what's really sad is that many of us just wish for the holiday season to be over. And that's like wishing for the end of your life to be over faster. And I don't want you to get caught in that trap. I actually want you to be able to enjoy yourself, because suddenly this season will be over with. You will be exhausted. You will have been in survival mode the whole time, and you will have very little to show for it. So you absolutely can make the most of, the best of the rest of 2017. You can absolutely win the season. It's possible to be present, purposeful, and prepared to celebrate. All is calm and joyful and happy. And that is the focus and the highlight of your holiday experience. So in order to begin crafting a December to remember, we got a prep step. We're going to be coming back to this prep step. So make sure that you have your notebook, something to write with at the very least. If you have a list of pre-scheduled appointments and events, that's great. We're going to be doing some calendaring. So I'm going to be showing you a couple different, or 3 different versions of ways that you can map out and plan out your December. So if you have those handy, make sure you get those ready. Otherwise, just take notes and be able to take the information that I'm giving you during this workshop and plot and apply what I'm sharing. So your prep step, it begins by defining what type of holiday season do you want to have? What type of holiday season do you want to experience? What type of holiday season do you want to achieve? And just jot down some ideas. And I want you to ask yourself this too. What needs to happen for this to be a December to remember? For one that you're not wishing away, holding your breath and closing your eyes and wishing for January to be here. What needs to happen? Thank you to Val, who's popping on. Here's the deal. I talk a lot about experiences because experiences are all about collecting moments. Moments that you share with others, moments that you create for yourself. It's not just about things or stuff for productions, especially during the holiday season. Experiences are what create memories for us. So your prep step is to have a brainstorming list. Think about it as your brainstorming holiday wish list. What type of holiday season do you want to experience? Begin brainstorming this list. Having this brainstorm list, this holiday wish list, is going to give you hope. It's going to set the stage for more joy and fun. And then we'll be able to take these ideas out and plot them. Now, when it comes to brainstorming, I am not at all a linear thinker. In fact, those of you who've been a member of the community who follow me for some time know that my brainstorming lists are pretty chaotic. They're all over the place. However, I know that for many of you, it helps to have categories because then you can go back and be able to make sense of what you've put onto your brainstorming list. So First of all, brainstorming list absolutely must be robust. The more ideas you can put out there, the better. And because this is the holiday season and it's one that we share with those that we love, invite your family members to take part in this brainstorming holiday wish list. Ask them what type of holiday experience that they wish to experience. Because a lot of this are sharing the traditions and the experiences that we are doing together. So ideas for categories, because yes, it's more than just, one of those categories can be traditions, experiences, but we know the holidays are much more than that. They include decorating the tree, decorating the inside of the house, decorating the outside. Do you help decorate somewhere else? Brainstorming list, you want to be proactive? How about your budget? Because a lot of us get into big trouble during the holidays and we are hurting when January rolls around. Be proactive and start brainstorming a list of ideas for budget. More importantly, sit down with your spouse and talk about your budget. Consider things like food, gifts, travel, entertainment, decorating. How about cards? Do you send out something that has some type of holiday greetings or Christmas wishes? What about gifts? Lists that you need to make. Do you need to extract information from others in order to get those gift ideas? Do you love to make homemade gifts? Can't get away with holiday wish lists without food. Do you like to bake? Do you like to cook? How about parties? Attending parties, hosting parties. And if you're hosting parties, what is that going to look like? What is that going to involve? What about the holiday events? That also kind of falls under experiences and traditions. And most importantly, travel. Are you traveling? So there's a lot that can go into this very robust brainstorm of your holiday wish list of what it is, of what type of holiday season that you want to experience. And no, making this very clear when it comes to brainstorming, you don't have to sit down and have it all out of your head. Some of us get stuck on this. We sit down and then we feel like we're on the spot. Because you're like, well, I don't know what to put. Just get something out. We do the holidays over and over again, year after year. Remember, you are now thinking and being proactive about this, about what's going to make for a positive, joyful, fun, holiday, memorable experience. So start there. And then keep that brainstorming list out in the open, because it's inevitable that as you go about doing things, you're going to have ideas pop into your head. You're going to go back to that brainstorming list and you're going to write it down. It's important to have this great master list here for you, because it's going to help to guide you. It's going to help set the stage of what needs to happen. Now, one of the big outcomes of crafting a December to remember is to enjoy the holidays on purpose. When you are plotting this out and being proactive, it allows you to enjoy the holidays on purpose. Because this season, I'm not telling you anything new. This season will fly by. There will be moments where it feels like it's taking forever because of a certain company that we are around or other things, but it will fly by. And one of the things that I like to kind of put out there that really helps to make this point very clear, that really hits home, and if I could just really, really, really help those of you who are wishing away this season, you will never have this holiday season again. You will never have this Christmas again. And if you have young children still at home, Alexandra's in the other room, I will never have Christmas with Alexander as a 7-year-old again. I will never have Christmas with Tyler as a 16-year-old again. That really helps to put things in perspective. You're wishing away all this stuff because the chaos and the overwhelm, look at what you're missing out on. We all have this fear of missing out. It happens on social media all the time. But when you are wishing away and just getting by and trying to survive the holidays, you're missing out. You got to stop and slow yourself down and realize what matters most. So you realize, yes, what matters most, but you're never going to get this time back again. Time is life, and life is meant to be enjoyed. And the purpose of life is to just be happy. No matter what goals we set for ourselves, what's attached to that goal, that outcome, is to be happy. And we have absolute ability to control and make that happen. So be proactive, put some thought into this, and begin to create the type of experience that you desire. So now that we have that brainstorming list, and I know that during the workshop, we're just going to kind of scratch the surface on some of these. Typically, when I go through this, I break it up into like 5 days of lessons. So you have time to absorb and process and implement and come back and ask questions. So this is kind of like the accelerated version, but you'll be able to watch this replay and come back and revisit it. So step one of crafting a December to remember on how to win the season is to decide what's important now. What is important in this season of your life? Like I said, when I started this video, every time life changes, your what's important now changes. As our life changes and we head into the holiday season, your what's important now changes. What's important now creates the acronym WIN. When you are focused on what's important now, you win every single time. So it's important that you determine what that is. What matters most to you during this holiday season? Yes, you can think about this as your top 3 priorities. I don't always start it off with priorities because the word priorities gets people like, me included. For a long time, I'm like, priorities? I don't know what my priorities are. I'm just coasting through life. Whatever happens, happens. That was when I had a victim mindset. Now that I have a growth mindset, I am able to focus on and adjust and edit and revise my what's important now. And it makes all the difference. You need a target, and you have to realize that you can't focus on everything all at once. So as an example, let's see. Do I have my old one? Let me see if I have my old one. I'm going to show you my what's important now. If I can find my old one that has been, oh yeah. I'm really organized. So a couple months ago, my wins, my what's important now, when I started the Courage Challenge, my 3 areas were community, time with my boys, and a creative outlet. That was about the start of fall. Those were my 3 priorities. And it shifted and changed so that over the past couple weeks, it became coaching, challenge planning, and connecting. Now, as I head into December, this is now going out the window. Now I have, and this is what I want you to be doing. When you determine what your top 3 what's important nows are, and yes, 3, because you can't have a list of 20 priorities because you're spreading yourself too thin. Everything cannot get your focus all at once. I want you to put it somewhere that is very clear where you can look at it every day. Because as we go through the rest of the steps, you're going to see how important this is. So I love these big index cards because I can fit a lot of stuff on it. My what's important now for this season, this holiday season. Holiday memory makers with my boys, connecting with my community, and reflection. I'm not doing some big goal setting. I just want to set aside some time to reflect on my year. And I have a whole month to do it. I have a whole month to create some memory makers with my boys, and I have a whole month to connect with my community. That's what's important now. Questions so far for step 1? I should say, I'll check in. Any questions? We got the chat going down here. If you are watching the replay and you are not in the community, shoot me an email or ask on Facebook. It's important to prioritize before things get too busy and you get caught up in the chaos. You get to decide what matters most to you. Step 2. This goes back to the work that you put into the beginning, the prep step. What does a successful holiday season look like for you? What does a successful holiday season look like for you? And Beth just shared an example. They have 3 birthdays in December, along with holiday stuff, and it takes up a lot of our time to celebrate and make the most of it all. So that's what she's going to focus on. That's step 1. It acts as a filter, because there is always going to be someone or something fighting for your time and attention. But now, moving forward through this holiday season, that someone or something must pass through this filter. Based on what you just identified as what's important now, you get to decide how that fits. Yes, there's Alexander with his little reindeer jingle bells. So step 2, what does a successful holiday season look like to you? And this is success defined on your terms. Yes, there are going to be some events and traditions that you share with others, and that's where you can sit down and decide what that looks like together. But ultimately, you're deciding, what does a successful holiday season look like to you? I'm sure that you have years and years and years of unsuccessful holiday seasons. So if that helps, give you a start, what do you know you don't want it to look like? And build from there. Right, now we're going to start taking some action. Step 3 is our treasure map. Step 3 is creating our treasure map. And I like to say map is my action plan. Because now we put some thought into this. We've identified what's important. We've defined what a successful, meaningful, joy-filled holiday season is. Now we got to get to calendaring. And we get to calendaring by identifying what this block of season looks like. When does it start? When does it end? Because now that you know what is important to you, what is meaningful, you want that to happen. And you want it to happen as smoothly and joyfully as possible in order to minimize overwhelm and stress. Having a map, and I'm going to stand up and show you mine. I'm going to plot it out right here real time. Having a map helps you to prepare and plan for what it will take for you to accomplish what matters most, to experience what will make a joy-filled, meaningful holiday season. This will help you to avoid overscheduling and overcommitting, which many of us do in the holiday season. Because we can't stop. Nothing's coming through a filter. And we can't stop and look at our treasure map. We're just saying yes to too many things. Proud of Al for saying that her brave today was picking up her planner for the first time in a month and filled in, so because she knows these steps with all of her meetings and pre-scheduled stuff, and it felt really good. I love that, Val. So we're going to block off your season to protect the things that you have defined that will contribute to a joy-filled, memorable holiday season. So we're going to get to calendaring before anything else comes up, before any of those someones or some things that are fighting for your time and attention. Because as we write this down, it creates clarity and it protects your time. So when there is a question of, can I have your time and attention, you're in a better position to decide. All right, what are you doing? Because can you not be in here right now? Second. All right, so I'm going to stand up here and I'm going to show you my treasure map. Alex, what are you doing?
Because I need one. Right.
Here.
All right. The pretend EXs.
Okay, got it. Let's see.
I'm giving them the loop.
All right. Let me turn my stuff around here. Oh. All right. So, when it comes to calendaring, step 3, creating your treasure map. So, this is when does your holiday season begin and when does it end? I have this is where the big wall calendars come in handy. And I'll tell you what, not just because it's good for you to be able to see this and it's in clear sight, but doesn't it also help everybody else who lives under your roof, everybody be on the same page and know what to expect? So there's not the problem of forgetting or overscheduling. And yes, then you can make it fun and pretty. So decide when it starts, decides when it ends. Decide when it ends. Now, I used, do you say washi tape? I don't know, is that what it's called? I found some gold stuff. So I indicated when school actually gets out. So even though the holidays are upon us, I need to see what's happening here before school gets out, because then I really have the voice more to myself to create those memorable holiday experiences. And then that ends when they go back to school. So that's what I've indicated with this block. Where are we today? So now the next thing I'm going to do, so now that I know when it starts and when it ends, this is where your list of appointments or pre-scheduled events go on this map. So, I'm going to start writing some stuff down. Very first thing that I have written down is on the 4th is the 21-day Jump for Joy challenge. Now to me, that's an event because that has to do with me connecting with my community, and we're gonna be doing some burpees for 21 days. So many people are so excited about burpees, right? Don't worry, I have gentle, joy-filled burpee variations. That says trash pickup because in our community they have a special day where they will come and remove, I think, 5 big items that you want to get rid of. And to me, that's an important thing to remember, to get the big items out. Let's see, then I've got Alex has a dentist appointment on the 14th, couple weeks. I get to go see Star Wars with Tyler. This is when Christmas break begins. Actually, and this Sunday is Tyler's high school is going to win the state championship in football, high school football. So they're playing at the University of Kentucky football stadium. Woo! So we get to go to Lexington this weekend. So Christmas break begins here. The next thing that I have scheduled is the 26th. You can do a different color here. We go to Orlando, so we go to Disney.
Mommy?
Yeah.
A really good idea.
Yeah.
Where's one of those clown noses? I can use it.
Clown nose? I don't know. That's a good idea for being Rudolph, though.
Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer.
All right, but I'm doing a video. I'm doing a video.
I think I know what I want.
Great. All right, so these are the things that are pre-scheduled. I've marked off the times because what's going to happen is in step 4 and step 5, we're going to get more detailed. But at a glance, now I can see what's left. So then as I'm looking at my holiday wish list, my brainstorm list, as we take, because this is like our pull focus, and as we go closer in and we begin to look at our week and begin to look at our day, we're going to be able to better plot out what needs to happen and when in order for it to carry through and have that fun holiday experience. All right, I'm going to turn this around, come back over here, come back over here. Questions so far? Does that make sense? Oh my gosh, of course I move stuff. Hold on. All right. Everything in front of me, yes? Yes. All right, on to step 4. So now that we've got, we understand that big block. We've created that container that indicates our block of our holiday season. And we are in the beginning stages of protecting our time for the experiences that are gonna help us to win our season. And what you're gonna see is there are things that are like standing appointments. That what does Alexander's dentist appointment or trash pickup have to do with winning the season? Well, there are certain responsibilities of life that need to be woven in there between your experiences. Something that I taught with the Take Back Your Morning Challenge when you're crafting a meaningful morning routine. There are just responsibilities that you have, and you weave them in between your experiences so that you have meaningful, memorable experiences during the holidays. So now we're going to take this and we're going to then now look closer at planning 1 week at a time. And when it comes to weekly planning is best performed on the weekend. Most people do it on a Sunday. Doesn't matter as long as you are taking time at the end of your week to look ahead so you can prepare so you can be prepared for the week ahead. So when Monday comes, you're not caught off guard and you actually start strong and in control of your time. So when it comes to planning your week, I'm going to show you what I use. I use the Passion Planner. Now, if you just only want to use a wall calendar like this and you're going to use it to plan out your week, that's when you're going to have to look at those days of the week and you're going to have to start plotting out the times of the events and the appointments that you have scheduled so you know how you're spending your time. The Passion Planner is something that I've used over the past few years. This is a pretty little cover, but basically you want to be able to see your week at a glance. You want to be able to see your week at a glance. So when you sit down to plan your week, you want to set aside a good 15 to 20 minutes. You want to look at your holiday wish list, have that handy, and you're going to make a smaller brain dump for the coming week because of all these things that you have listed for your master holiday wish list. There's a lot of stuff. And you have to decide what can you get done for this week? What's it going to look like? So let's say, for example, that you are going to be baking for a holiday party next Friday. So what needs to happen on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday in order to have that done efficiently? Like, do you need to go buy the ingredients of whatever you're cooking? Do you need to have something to package it up in? Do you need to have that time plotted out to prep stuff step by step ahead of time? Think about how you can break down some of these bigger tasks and spread them out throughout the week, because we're just not only doing holiday stuff, we're also doing everyday responsibilities in life. And you have to see how the things that you want to have happen to make this an enjoyable holiday fit in between everyday life. Once again, this is about being proactive. It's about sticking to your priorities, and it's about making decisions on how you choose to spend your time and attention. AKA, watch out for time wasters and energy vampires. This is not the time to indulge in them. If you want to use categories for your weekly brain dumps, keep it really simple. You got 2 categories. What are your everyday responsibilities? What are your holiday commitments? What needs to be done when it comes to your holiday commitments? What needs to be done to ensure that you are enjoying your holidays? And if you need accountability for this, this absolutely must be written down. It's not something that you just keep up here. Our mind is fantastic for thinking and coming up with ideas, but it is really lousy for storing them. That's why you write things down. And it has nothing to do with age. Sure, some of it, but get it out of your head and write it down. As you are looking ahead at the week and plotting out your everyday responsibilities, plotting out your holiday commitments, when you are plotting them out, make sure that you are allocating more than enough time so you build in buffer, you build in room for the what ifs. Then this helps you to clearly see what's left. So once again, so we're taking this, we do that pull focus, we can look at our whole holiday season. We can see what's left. Now we get a little bit closer, we look at the week, we're plotting it out, we're protecting those containers of time. Then we see what's left. Then it helps you, once again, you're in a better position to decide how to best allocate your time and attention when those requests come in. Opportunities for you to say no or just not right now. Let me see if I can give you, because typically what I will do is in the community, I will do this live, and I actually plot this out live on a Sunday. We do Sunday planning sessions. I'm trying to see if I have a good example. It's pretty messy. If at all possible, use pencil, because when things happen and they don't go as scheduled, then you're not scribbling or using sticky notes to cover up your oops. But think about that as plotting out those times. If you have an appointment, like if I have to pick Tyler up from practice, I'm not just putting pick up Tyler at 6:30. I'm blocking off a time from 6 to 7, allowing that time to travel, get there, and get back home. And we're going to be even more detailed when we go to step 5. Questions? So step 5 is my favorite part. Step 5 is what I like to call design your day. Design your day. And when you design your day, you win the day because you are focused on what's important now. So you are having your what's important now out in front of you as you look forward to begin designing your day. I'm going to walk you through the steps. So if you have the journey journal that I gave you as a printable, you can use that. Or if you have anything else that you use as a daily planner, so designing your day gives you control over your time. It gives you clarity. You know what, how, when. You can say no, you can rise above distractions. And more importantly, when you've designed your day, it gives you a compass which to come back to, because life's gonna happen. It doesn't matter how perfectly you design your day, life will happen. And as it does, you come back and you see where you can pick back up and get back on track and finish it out. There's so many benefits to designing your day. It truly helps fix everything once and for all to help you get unstuck, not just during the holidays, but just any day. And plus, when you design your day, it's really reassuring to see that your time has been well spent. I love this quote. A well-lived life is the result of a series of an accumulation of well-designed days. So let's dig in and let's start designing. In order to get to this step, that's why we got to do all these other prep steps before it, because otherwise this doesn't make sense. So if you've tried planning your day in the past and it's been confusing, it's been overwhelming, it's been hard to stick to, it's very highly likely that you have not preceded it with these 4 steps. Because now you have perspective and now you know what's important. And that's what you use to help plot and design your day. When I design my day, I like to begin by indicating when my day begins and when my day ends. So when am I waking up? When am I going to bed? And going to bed typically means, when do I begin my nighttime routine? Because when I go to bed, I mean, sometimes, yeah, my head hits the pillow and I'm out. But other times it's a matter of that nighttime routine to get myself prepared and ready for sleep. And here's the deal. If you have trouble waking up in the morning, if you have trouble falling asleep at night, it is very highly likely due, well, there's lots of variables, but you can help fix that by being consistent with your wake up and your bedtime, because your body clock is driven by consistency. Same thing applies when you travel. Trying to be as consistent as possible to that will help you to avoid jet lag. If you've not taken my challenge in the past, Take Back Your Morning, you know that I'm against going back to bed, sleeping in, hitting snooze. All of that sabotages your efforts to wake up with energy and bliss. So I am indicating the start and end of my day. Then the next step you're going to do is look at your week. What you just did, spending your Sunday plotting all of that out. Because that's where you refined those events, those responsibilities, those commitments. Now you're going to take them out of your weekly plan and you're going to put them right into your day. And this is where you absolutely overestimate the time that it will take. Using the journey journal, you'll notice that I have a place for you to write down what's important now. That's something that you do. So you've got this index card. It's something that you want to have in front of you at all times. So yes, index card is great, but also writing it down repeatedly is wonderful. So after you've taken what's on your weekly review and you've put it into your day, look at what's important now. How can those be broken down into daily targets? So my holiday memory makers with my boys. What can I do, let's say tomorrow, that can be broken down into a specific activity that I can plot into my day, that I am planning for? My second most important now, connecting with my community. That could be doing a Facebook Live. That could be getting onto Periscope. That could be going into the EJC, the Everyday Joy community, and popping in and providing some feedback or encouragement. Reflection, for me, that's going to be designated quiet time for me to sit and write, to journal. Now, when I'm saying this, I'm giving examples. These are always at the forefront of your mind, but that doesn't mean that they're always being broken down into daily steps every single day. All 3 of them don't need to be broken down and tackled every day. You might find that on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, that's when you're setting out that time to sit down and reflect. Memory makers with my boys might not happen every single day, but it's at the forefront of my mind, so I'm staying focused on what's important now. Make sense? Next step in designing your day is to block off your meaningful morning routine. And if you're unsure of what the heck I'm talking about, I know I have a resource somewhere. Shoot me an email and be like, Holly, where is that? I think I put, it was a challenge I shared on Facebook Live. If you're in the Everyday Joy community, you know you've got access to that. So your meaningful morning routine is going to be, and you'll see this on your journey journal, what are you doing right when you wake up to move, nourish, and do something good for your mindset? I like to keep it very simple when we are establishing that meaningful morning routine. And that is for nourish, right when I wake up, I'm hydrating. That's nourishing my body. I hydrate when I take my supplements. I've got a 5-minute feel good flow. That's moving my body. And mindset is that I have peace of mind because I'm looking at my schedule and everything's already plotted out. I'm not scratching my head and feeling stressed and overwhelmed that I don't know what the day expects. Or I could read a mantra, or I could read, or I can listen to an inspiring, uplifting podcast. I am not turning on the news. I'm not going onto my phone or my computer and looking at Facebook. That, hello, is not how you set your mindset up for success for the day. But I know a lot of you do that. This is your opportunity to take control and change that. Meaningful morning routine, blocking that off, knowing that that's woven between routine that you're doing and morning responsibilities. So for me, my routine would be, I wake up at 5, Tyler wakes up at 5:30, we leave for the bus at 6:30, then I get Alex up at 7:30, we leave for school for him for 8:30. Those are my responsibilities. So then I'm going to weave my routine between those. So my block looks like that. Now, if you need accountability to make sure that you're nourishing, if you need accountability to make sure you're working on your mindset, if you need accountability to make sure you're moving, you better write it down, schedule it, and plot it. Make an appointment with yourself to get each one of those down. A morning routine does not mean you wake up 90 minutes earlier. A routine does not mean that you spend only the first 90 minutes working on a routine. Those things are misleading. I know those are great authors and resources, but they're not realistic to real life stuff. So this is my effort to show you that you can start your morning off right. You just got to be reasonable and realistic. Now, the next thing you want to do is make a to-do list. So now that you've got what's important now is plotted, you've got your events or your pre-planned appointments plotted, off to the side. What is a running list of to-dos? And this is where you can be overly ambitious because it doesn't matter how long your to-do list is or how short. We never really get everything done on a to-do list, but that's okay because we can take whatever didn't get done and carry it over to the next day. To-do lists are very important during the holidays because we might have an item over plotted on our day that is to bake cookies. So your to-do list might help to break that down if you have to run to the grocery store to pick up something special for that. Or if you filled out Christmas cards, your to-do might be, okay, now I have to run to the post office. So thinking about to-do lists can help take those events or those tasks and break them down into smaller steps. So what you can do is be pulling them over and checking them off as you get them done. It's just a nice reminder instead of trying to put too much in one block off to the side, helping you to make it down, break it down into manageable steps. And so that way you don't forget any steps. Don't rely on memory. Then the last step of designing your day, what's left? Are there any open spaces? Let me see if I have an example of open space. So on this day, you'll see that there's blocks with nothing in them. because that's my time. And I want to decide how that time is spent. So I'm going to block it off and protect it. So as I get things done during the day, I can come and revisit, because remember, this is the compass, it's my guide, and I can look over to my to-do list. Is there anything over here that I can pull into that blank spot? Or is there a request for my time and attention that's coming in? Like, let's say Alexander's teacher sent out an email that says, hey, we're looking for volunteers to come in the classroom this afternoon. I can then look at my daily planner and say, do I have the space to be able to go and do that? So those spaces are protected. They are accounted for. They are spent in a purposeful, meaningful way. Or that meaningful, purposeful way could be, I just need a break. If you're not working in the space to have some downtime, you won't have any. Once again, extremely important as you go into the busyness of the holiday season, you have to plot out some time for you to just breathe, even if it's just 5 minutes locking yourself in the bathroom. Stop overcommitting and overscheduling, and actually, when you see that blank space, grab it and protect it. Then you are in control of how you decide to spend it. We don't have time to be caught up in anybody else's drama, being distracted with social media, whatever else is a time waster. We don't have time for that over the holiday season. This will help you to keep it in check. And when you've got what you just indicated is what's most important now, that's also great accountability for you. It will actually help you to catch yourself if you're engaging in things that you know are not leading to what you just defined would be a way to win the season, to what you define as a December to remember. Questions as I catch up with my notes? You want to see the most chaotic and crazy day ever? Ready? Oh my gosh, just like the craziest day. The most stressful, chaotic, crazy day. Because you don't know what to expect. There's nothing there. This is stressful. Then how do you make decisions on how to best spend your time and attention? How do you say that this is what's important to me? You can't. Set yourself up for success. Be proactive and plan. Planning is not something tedious and it's not something restrictive. It actually creates more freedom. It frees your mind up from being stressed about not knowing what to expect, about being stressed about overcommitting and overscheduling. And it frees you up because then you get to decide how to best spend your time. And then you get to align it with what you just decided, what type of holiday season you desire to experience. So by blocking off those spaces, what's happening is that there are no blank spaces in your daily planner. Even if you blocked off a white space, it's still protected. There are no gaps. You are in the know. From the moment that you wake up to the moment you go to bed, you are in the know of how your time is being spent. And you know how your time is being accounted for because you know how it should be spent. You can, this is my notes. You can be productive and busy in a gratifying way. You can be productive and busy in a gratifying way. And most importantly, it helps you to rise above distractions because distractions are all around us. It serves as a compass. You can circle right back to see what the next step is when life happens because life will happen. And we talk about win. Why win? Win stands for what's important now. And we identified those 3 big ones. And now we know how we can take them and break them into smaller pieces. This is just like goal setting. You've got a big goal. So how do you chunk that out? So it becomes daily actions, daily focus steps. And we want to win because where do you guys think that the progress and the forward movement happens? It happens on a daily basis. It's not somewhere far off in the distant future. It happens every day. And in order for you to experience the improvements, the joy, the happiness, you must get steadily better over time. Steadily better over time with your attitude, steadily better over time with where your time and attention, your focus is. Taking those small steps forward. And besides, where you stare is where you will be steered. Where you stare is where you will be steered. Where are you staring? Make it what you just defined is important now. Each day is an opportunity to feel successful or stressed. Each day is a chance to win or lose ground. Each day is a chance for you to decide, to take control, design your day, win the season, make this a December to remember. Questions or comments? My music just ended. Is that weird? Comments or questions? Does this help put things in perspective? Do you have a better idea of plan going in? I know that this was kind of like fast track of all these steps. It's going to make a lot more sense as you sit down and you plot it out and you put it into action. I would highly encourage you guys to, you want some extra accountability? Take a picture of your treasure map. And that is step 3. Take a picture of that treasure map of your holiday season. Then it's out there. What did you define as your what's important now? What matters most? No questions? All that talking? Oh, somebody's got to have a question, right? You're still writing everything down. Or maybe I'm frozen. Oh, I was frozen, wasn't I? So I'm like, question, you guys are like, oh yeah, I do, but I don't know how to tell you. You can type in the chat. There's a way to raise your hand, or you can actually raise your hand. Or if this is the universal signal for call on me. I'm back, and I was muted because it's good because I was growling. I don't know what happened. So I know everybody raised their hand when I was gone. Yeah, I know you did. I could feel it. Oh my goodness. Does anybody have any questions? Can I help you with anything? Any comments or questions? Oh my goodness. I'm just like, I was telling Patrick that better not have messed up my recording, because then I would do this all again. Yeah, thank you, Ian. While I'm waiting to see if anybody has any questions. Oh, okay, Dawn. Where are you, Dawn? Dawn, can I unmute you? She's like, okay. Hi, Dawn. Let me see. Can you hear me okay?
No, you have that control.
Oh, yeah, I have. Yep, I've got some special. Oh, my internet is unstable. Hold on. Are we back?
Yep.
Okay. So, yes, I have that type of control. Watch out. So you're having trouble narrowing it down. Can you tell me what do you have so far as your what's important now?
Well, I'm quite a list maker, so I have a lot of lists of like my current projects that I'm working on, so I can have up to I usually have like 8 or 10 projects, and then I change that. They're nothing big. Like, well, some of them are bigger than others, but I find it hard to just narrow it down to, I guess what's important is not necessarily tasks, but it's what the overall goal is, right?
Yes, think about back, because one of the prep steps is what has to happen for you to have an enjoyable holiday season, in December to remember, because then that is your focus every single day to make sure that that's what's happening. Like for me, like that was the example, is for this to be a December to remember, I want to make sure that I'm plotting out that time to make memories with the boys, that I'm not just caught up in work or caught up in something else that I'm doing, that I'm carving out that time to make that happen. The things that could go to the wayside that need my accountability, that if I don't give it my time and attention, it's going to suffer. Those become, for just this short season, those become what's important now, because I can't do everything. I can't sit down and map out my business goals for 2018. I can't create this elaborate workout plan. I can't go travel and see all of my family, but I can focus on what's important now and what's in my control.
That's a good point. Okay, I'll have to work on that.
So you could go through the A, B, C, D, E, F, and then decide, okay, if this is what my list of projects are, just for the next, and that's where you decide, where is my holiday? What's realistic for me to fit in these short 4 weeks? What's going to suffer if I don't? Because if none of that can suffer, then maybe it can be put off until 2018, and that's okay. Because then that creates space for you to actually dive into something else that really needed your time and attention during the season. That's going to contribute to a memorable holiday season experience.
So if I say what's important now is to have a enjoyable, sort of a stress-free holiday season, but then that encompasses a whole bunch of things, that's okay. That's one of my, right? Is it okay to have something that's so broad that there's a lot to it? Or
yeah, you could put something about calm and stress-free. Because mine is, so going back to mine of saying, okay, memorable experience with my boys is broad, but then each day I can break that down and say specifically this connects to that. So what would calm and stress-free look like for you? What are you doing that's carving that out each day?
right.
What contributes to feeling stress? So it could be that I'm not going to engage in that type of stressful. So I'm going to instead reverse that and carve that out.
Okay, I gotcha.
So it could be maybe you are scheduling in like yoga or scheduling in a walk, doing something that does bring more calm and helps to decompress with the rest of the things that are going on over the holiday season. Yeah, that would work.
Right. Okay, good. Thanks. I just need to get to brainstorming then to get to it. So that's
exactly. Yes. You are very welcome. Thank you for asking, because I know it helped a lot of others who are watching. Anyone else? Be brave like Dawn. I love the smiles of kiddos. Okay, while I'm waiting, I was going to share this. I love Tool pens, Tool, T-U-L. They are only sold by Office Depot, but this is the holiday limited edition. Last year they were white. Courageous 8 ladies. They are black. Oh no, am I frozen again? The stinking internet. Oh my gosh, I think it's frozen. Oh. I'm back and forth, good on my end. So, best pens in the whole wide world. Tool. Silver, gold, and rose gold. Thank you. It was backwards, but it said thank you. All right, before I get kicked off again, and because I know it gets annoying with internet, blah, 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 If you had a question that did not get answered, absolutely ask. If you're in the community, you know what to do. Otherwise, shoot me an email and make sure that you get taken care of. But at the very least, take some pictures, send over an email, give me an update of what you're doing that's helping to plot this out, and put your December to remember into action so I can give you some thumbs up and some encouragement. Thanks you guys for being on here. Here's to a December to remember. See ya.